7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association, Irma Perez and Margaret Kennard back with us. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Doing well.
Doing good. All right, before we start all the stuff we're talking about here, I was a little miffed yesterday. I got on my Facebook, as I do, stalking people, looking, seeing what's going on,
Trolling.
Finding out what kind of trouble people getting into, as I do. And then I see Rick Kraft's post where he's basically photoed a pass for one of the panels at San Diego Comic-Con, which, for folks that don't know, that's kind of like the Super Bowl of nerddom. It is literally the Shangri-La of all things comics, and now it's involved into like Marvel and anything sci-fi, kind of Walking Dead. Pretty much every TV show that isn't a comedy has probably got a booth at Comic-Con now. You know what I mean? It's that big. And there's Rick Kraft, a distinguished man. No, I'm just kidding. No, he is. But you know what I mean? It's just I just didn't think he was that. And I was like, well, but obviously his son is an artist, a comic book artist, and things like that. So
it was a big flex, right?
Yeah, I just saw it and I was like, no way, he's at Comic-Con. And then I started thinking of images like him and Todd like wearing like Mandalorian suits together, walking around at Comic-Con. I was like, okay, and then I was thinking, I didn't think that was Rick's thing, but I could see it. I could see Rick walking around in a costume, doing his thing. I could do that because he's a man that could fit in any room.
Well, maybe that's where Todd is today, because Todd was supposed to be here.
He's supposed to be here.
He's playing hooky.
He's probably shining up.
He caught a flight out.
He's at home shining up some blasters, getting ready for Comic-Con is what he's doing. But it was one of those things. I was like, look at this, Rick's going to Comic-Con. So that had nothing to do with what we're talking about. But
when you had given Irma dates on what day, when we can come in, we were talking back and forth on an email thread, and he said, "You guys go ahead and go on without me. I'm still away." And I was like, "Okay." So he's having fun.
Good deal. So how is he? When did Comic-Con start? Has he been there for a couple days, or was yesterday?
He's been gone for a while.
Okay, I didn't know if it was in the middle of it or kind of. And I think he said something in there. I don't know. I kind of got lost in the big poster, and I didn't read the rest. But.
Yeah, I think his father's birthday was last week.
Oh no! Well, he's got a whole kind of.
Yeah.
He's just partying and gallivanting all over the map, isn't he? Good for him.
He's a hard guy to get a hold of.
Good for him. Yeah, he's especially now where I think, he's at the point in his life where he's ready to just retire, slow down a little bit more and see the world and travel. So he's probably doing a lot more traveling and visiting and doing things like this. So good for him.
I don't know. He travels a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't think he'll ever slow down.
When I say slow down, I mean he's shifting maybe
one
doing
busy to another. Busy.
Yeah, shifting from maybe not doing lawyer stuff, but doing more traveling stuff or Comic-Con stuff. Who knows? But
that's pretty cool.
Home stuff or family stuff or house stuff, like that. But anyway, I guess we should probably start by explaining Leadership Roswell. I know we've talked about it 100 times on this show. But I always want to play to someone who just turned on the radio this morning and never heard about us or talked about us before. So before we talk about the process of signing up for Leadership Roswell, let's give folks a kind of the 2-minute story of what Leadership Roswell is.
Okay, so this program is a chamber program that was created, I want to say 38 years ago. Is where
it's somewhere in the 30s. I don't know if there's arguments between 33 and 38 and somewhere in between.
Well, so Rick has been the executive director for 32 years.
32, okay.
Yes, because 2 years ago it was 30 years. We were coming on the 30-year mark. So he's been dedicated to this program, volunteering for this program for over 30 years.
Okay.
And it is leadership training, it's networking, and, it's basically a VIP pass. And you know this because you took the program.
I am a graduate of it.
Yeah.
All three in the room are.
Yeah. And so it's a VIP pass to what's going on here in Chavez County. We get to go to, not only do we get leadership training, we get to network with the people in our class. We also get to see all of what's going on in Chavez County. So that's kind of the gist of it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of things rolled into one because you do. I mean, there is leadership. You learn aspects of leadership. Learn a lot of activities. Everything's group related and giving responsibility. So a lot of that the lessons within the class are leadership based. But the other stuff is they teach all these things while giving you an environment of learning about your community. So you get to see parts of this community that generally the public may not always get access to, unless you are part of the process. You know, I always talk about going to the jail and stuff, but yeah, let's face it, unless you did something bad, most of us aren't going to spend any time in the jail here. So we got to really see the jail and how it operates in real aspects of it. The county government, you get to see all through that. City government, going through and seeing all that. Some of our federal government facilities like FLETC and things, each year kind of varies on security and all that stuff, but you know, classes get to go in there and learn about what goes on there. Even private business sector. I'm telling you, one of the most interesting things that you would have never thought is interesting is going to a Christmas ornament shop. You know what I mean? And you learn about all the stuff there. So it really is. It's kind of and then part 3 is like you were saying there is that networking aspect. It's a class of 30. You're going to spend a Friday a month together all day, and a lot of time outside of that just planning. And you'll go to you know, a road trip here. Is Santa Fe back on the table for this year?
We're going to try.
We're trying to work on that
this year. Yes, sir.
So so through that, there's a group building, friendship building, networking opportunity. So generally how it works is your 30 classmates are probably connections you're going to have the rest of your life, whether it's close personal friends or just, you know, we're in Roswell, you run into each other in various promotions and events and things like that. So in a nutshell, that's kind of, it's really a who's who of Roswell and this area. And by the way, you get to learn some valuable leadership skills that you can take back to your businesses, your homes, wherever you want to apply it, basically.
And that's what I love about Leadership Roswell is that, you know, you don't have to travel. You know, most of the time, especially in a small community like ours, there's not a whole bunch of leadership training available unless you travel and, you know, you're willing to travel outside of either Roswell or New Mexico. And so this is, you know, pretty convenient for most people.
Absolutely.
You know, that live here.
The time commitment is it's really not bad. It's generally usually the first Friday of the month. Sometimes it fluctuates depending on class and what's going on that day. But generally it's that Friday. It's an all day, you know, like 7 in the morning until 5 o'clock that evening. And it'll be once a month, really beginning, September till about May or so.
Yes.
Again, that floats and varies depending on who knows what they're going to have us doing. It's election year. You know what kind of weirdness they're going to throw us, what kind of thing they're going to throw us through the next 6 months here. So, barring all that, that's how it normally goes here. But here's the thing. The class is limited to 30 applicants. Every single time, more than 30 people apply for this opportunity. Because I think a lot of people have, like you said, it's been around for 30 plus years. There's been, you know, say 30 times 30, that's a lot of alumni. There's a lot of people who have gone through this program and see the value of it. So more than 30 always apply usually. And I know we've seen, and you could attest this better than I can, like organizations and businesses that generally like to send people through Leadership Roswell are generally like they come back year after year.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we would love to see some more businesses and entities learn about Leadership Roswell and say, hey, maybe we should send one of our people here for this. But you know, I could guarantee you every year There's going to be some city and some county folks in there. There's going to be some NMMI folks in there.
Absolutely.
There's going to be,
Eastern.
Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. They're always,
Excel sends people.
Excel, like even
Pioneer
Leprino,
Bankers as
just
well.
different. Yeah, Leprino, we've had just different major industries or businesses or organizations in our community all every year say, all right, who do we have available? Do we have someone we can send through the program? And then the rest is made up of just people who maybe didn't, they got their own businesses or their company didn't sponsor. They just said, this is something I need on my own and do this. But we have there are certain entities that have been doing this for every single time. And so we'd love to see more of our mom and pops or other businesses or new businesses coming through saying, hey, maybe we could send some of our people through this class to bring back some of that information and assets to our company, to our business.
Right.
So it's definitely something we'd love to see more of and get more of those in. And we have a great support, but I'd love to see, more of these new people, new businesses and things that are setting up shops, sending a steady flow each year to that. But
Yeah. And so I wanted to just mention, because you brought that up, prior to COVID, we had, I think, 55 applicants one year, and we had to turn nearly as many away, that we actually were able to fit in the class. And so, and you brought it up, it is a time commitment. There is a financial commitment because it's, is it $550 or $650? $650 for the class, and that pays for meals, supplies, and all of that.
Sure,
the entire
your trip,
year.
the
trip.
Santa Fe and all that, yeah.
Yes, so it is a commitment, but there are scholarships available, and we're so thankful to the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association who provides scholarships for people that need them every year.
By the way, all those folks that have gone through the class, you're eligible to be on the Alumni Association.
Yes.
Like I said, it was 30-some years, 30 people. There's a big pool of people to choose from.
It's funny because as I was exiting, there were some people that had graduated several years prior, even maybe decades, that were coming back and getting on board. So
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean.
So maybe we get some old schoolers come back up. I know we got a few experienced people, a few Elaine Mayfields that have been in the class, back when, say, like Bill Clinton was president, but I'm just kidding.
They're solid, though.
They are solid.
Yeah.
But we could use a few more there.
Yes.
It's like when you went through and there was a Bush in the White House, or then still come on down,
right.
or dare I say a Reagan, then come on down.
Right. Yeah.
But either way, that's what we'd love to get people more involved. However, like you said, 30 people are in the class. Not everyone's going to get in. If you have applied in the past and did not get in, please reapply. Your application the next time gets more weight to it. If you've applied in the past and you apply again, you will get more consideration for this next class. I know we've had a couple people that have done it like 3 times before they've got in, maybe even more than that. But you do get more consideration there. So please don't get discouraged if you tried before and didn't get in. Please reapply because you will get a little more.
Rick is such an example because Rick didn't get accepted in the first time.
Really?
He applied. Right.
Interesting.
And so I hope nobody gets discouraged, and I hope they'll, come back. But a lot of times that doesn't happen. But like you said, there are people that have come back 2 or 3 times to apply. But, on that topic, I would just say when you're filling out that application, brag on yourself. Make sure that you fill it out completely.
Right.
And that you're really putting, the spotlight on things that you've done or,
absolutely,
things that you would like to see changed in Roswell or issues that, because there's a section about, what you would like to see and what issues Chaves County faces. So,
yeah, the application, which you can get right now, it's on the Roswell Chamber of Commerce website, which I always botch. It's like roswell-nm.org. Yeah. Okay. I always move dashes.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I went on the page and I guess that the chamber updated their page.
Yeah, they refreshed the website.
And so then I was like really looking for it.
Andrea was on yesterday from the chamber, and we were talking about the new changes there, and then she explained to get to Leadership Roswell. Okay, there is Yeah, there's a whole thing there, and if you have problems, don't hesitate to call. They'll be happy to navigate you through it there.
Yeah, paper applications
and
there
if
in the
you
office
prefer,
as well.
you could just go on in or walk through, or shoot a message out to the Leadership Roswell Alumni Facebook page.
There's many ways.
Shout out into the wind, you'll get an application. We'll tell you that here. But the deadline to get it in is next Friday.
Yes.
By 5 p.m. Friday of next week. And as the ladies were talking here about this, the application is designed to learn about you. They're short answer questions. A lot of it about you, but your thoughts on our community. Like, what do what's our greatest asset? What do we need to improve? What's our biggest problem? What do you need? We're missing. They really want the application is designed to really learn about you. So if you want to not get in, this is what you do. When they say, what is Roswell's biggest problem? And you write crime and then move on to the next question. If you do that, then we're going to say, well, I don't think we need this person. That person. No, we want, okay, crime's fine if that's your answer. But why? What's going on? What is it? What specifically are you talking about? Mm-hmm. Let's get in the weeds here just a little bit. We want to get a little insight about you and learn, why you're doing this. Because at the end of the day, the 30 people they're trying to get are trying to get people that are going to be an asset to this community as well. And yes, you're signing up to take these things back to your organizations and your things, but at the same time, Leadership Roswell looks at this as like we're grooming the next generation of mayors, city councilors, county commissioners, county managers, city managers, business owners. We're setting the table for those next folks to do that. And so if you're just spinning your wheels and don't want to put the effort in, then we've got another person that's going to dive in, both feet for this. So that's why we really, please, if you really, really be thorough with those questions, give us honest, good answers of what you, and we're not looking for if you go in there and say, what's Roswell's greatest problem, and you're like, I don't know, the zoo, and you're like, well, what's wrong with the zoo? But if it's a cogent argument, then we want to hear it. You know what I mean? That's what we're talking about. We really want you to do. Am I saying anything out of turn here?
And some things that people have done in the past is they've had their employers or other people in that they know or have good relationships with write a letter of reference or a recommendation letter, things like that. So when it gets really competitive, like in that year where we had 55 applicants, sometimes that helps out if you have, those extra, you went the extra mile to get,
I'm smiling because how I got in was, I'm a DJ. I have a morning show. I talk to everybody and their uncle. I literally went to the mayor. I went to county commissioner. I went to a president of a college. I went to, I think I had the sheriff. I literally had.
It was you.
I literally had like 6 or 7 recommendations from who's who. I was like, dude, I mean, come on. I can't go any better than this. Yeah. So I stacked the deck for me. I'm not going to lie.
It was a one-up for sure.
So, get nice to these people. They'll give you letters.
Well, and, I don't think we've talked about this before, but can you tell the listeners what you like so much about the program? Like maybe if we all did that.
Yeah, I will tell you this. And it was an asset I talk about a lot. It's that peeling back of the curtain. I'm always been fascinated with how things tick, So
are you from Roswell?
No, not originally. I'm from Maryland, Washington, D.C.
I didn't think you were from.
Yeah, I grew up in Maryland. I came to Roswell in 2000. Yes, end of 2000. I was in the military. I got stationed at Alamogordo.
Oh.
And I was a bomb loader on the 117s there. So I did that. That's how I ended up in New Mexico. When I joined the Air Force, I got sent here. And then I met my wife. And then, dating. And then when my 4 years was up, I could have re-enlisted and gone to Korea or married my wife. So here we sit.
It was love.
So here we sit. So then I moved. I got out of the Air Force at 2000 and moved here to Roswell with now my wife. She wasn't at the time, and rest is history. But anyway, so I'm not native. But I would say I'm always fascinated. And I talk about this on the radio a lot, where I don't Like I watched a thing on HBO Max about the Lakers and when Magic came and the winning. It's a great show. I could care less about the Lakers or basketball, to be honest. I don't. It's not. I love sports. That I'm just not a basketball person. But I was so fascinated by the inner workings and how all that came to be. And I didn't care about basketball. I just loved the story and behind the scenes. So I love that. So that side of Leadership Roswell is my favorite. I love going to the county and they take me to the sheriff's department. They're like, hey, you want to see our vault with our guns and our big, our Tommy gun from the 40s and all this other cool things we have? I'm like, yeah, I want to see all that. Hey, you want to go to the courthouse and, check out the jail or go see parts of there that I technically the public's allowed to, they just don't go to necessarily, And so for me, that's the cool part. Christmas by Krebs, that was so cool because I'm thinking, how exciting is this? I make glass ornaments. It's not exactly solving world peace here. You know what I'm saying? And I was wrong. It's completely a fascinating thing to watch, and it's kind of like Cloak and Dagger too, which was weirdly not something I thought about. But so that for me, that's my
that was your
draw is that chance to kind of see. In the jail, let's face it, contrary to popular belief, I've not been to jail. In Chaves County here, so in Chaves County, no. I've never done that, so I thought that was neat, and I spent 20 minutes at the beginning of the show talking about how much I like watching live PD and cops and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
I was listening. I miss. I don't know that Cops isn't on, but I just haven't watched it in a long time.
Well, Reels channel is. Do you get Reels or know of Reels? It's actually an Albuquerque-based channel, but it's a national channel. They show a lot of celebrity autopsies and documentaries about gangsters, but when they're not doing that. On Fridays and Saturday nights, they were showing cops and old cops and a show called Jail, which I guess was a cop spinoff.
Oh, really?
Which was like Cops, but they were in jail. That was the only difference. And then now they're bringing back, it's now called Patrol or something, whatever it's called, Live Patrol or whatever it is. But yeah, so I'm off topic again.
I'm sorry, I asked that.
But yeah, but for me, that's it. So for you, Margaret, what is it that you love so much about?
So I have to tell you, my sister took it in 2014. And I went to her graduation. So I kind of knew that she was in this program. I had no clue what it was. I never heard of it. And I've been here since 1981, I think, is when my family moved here. Okay. And so I was 3 when we moved to town. I was born in Silver City. My mom's family is from Lordsburg, New Mexico.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So anyway.
So you went from like nowhere to a little bit of somewhere. Because going through Lordsburg.
Well, and
there ain't nothing in Lordsburg.
I say Lordsburg because everybody knows where Lordsburg is, but they actually lived, it would be like.
We're the cactus next to Lordsburg. We live there.
Animus, New Mexico is where my mom's family is from. Okay, so that's like 30 miles towards
They have
Arizona
a Godfather's Pizza at the Pilot J rest stop there. That's about the extent of Lordsburg.
So, yes. So my parents met there when my dad was a state police officer on patrol. Okay. And she worked at a pharmacy. And so that's how they met. And then, they got married. And then I don't know how long later we moved here. And so I thought, growing up here, you think you kind of know what goes on. But so my sister said, you have to take this program. And I said, okay. And so, I would call her or she would call me. She's like, I can't talk. I'm in Leadership Roswell. We're going here, or whatever. And I'm like, okay. And so I applied. I went to her graduation. Then I applied. And I actually got in. And
first time?
Yeah, first time.
Unlike Rick.
And so it was, I tell people when I first went in there, I knew a couple of people, but I really didn't know them. Maybe I had heard of them, but I really didn't know who they were. Gotcha. And so it was kind of nerve-wracking for me because normally I'm a pretty shy person. Right. And so it was almost like first day of school all over again. And then you have like these uncomfortable moments of team building where you're getting to know people and you're like, oh Lord, what did I get myself into? But then you have great days, like it was like a field trip almost every day, you know, from school, because you would go to all these different places, just like you said, you get this like VIP access to like Leprino. Whoa, you know, I've never been on the cheese factory tour. And when I went in there and I was like, holy moly, this is huge.
It was
a huge
cool.
operation.
Yeah.
And here in Travis County, they picked Roswell. They came here. And so, you know, and Christmas by Krebs, it was like Santa's workshop. It was
exactly.
Crazy. I loved it. And so, and then I loved the leadership training. And I loved Rick. I loved what he was doing for people. And so then I was elected president. And after I served that year, I asked Rick and Candace at the time, I said, can you please find me a place so I can stay and and help.
Sure.
I would love to continue to help. And my employers through that time have been very generous to let me stay on and help with the
rest
program.
is history.
Yeah. And so, I mean, all of those things that you talked about.
Well, the reason we can go to Comic-Con right now is probably because you're the same.
So, in meeting 30 new people every year, getting to know 30 new people, I mean, that is the coolest thing to me.
Sure.
You know, so that was my experience. And
all right, Irma, your turn. What is it? What's your favorite part? What drew you?
It was all the relationships I got to build.
Okay.
I feel like I grew a lot, even though I worked for the EDC. I never got to do all these different tours, and you know, I was nominated to be president next year, so I'm kind of the behind-the-scene type girl, put me to decorate tables, and then they put you in the very front, and I was like, oh my goodness. So just the growth. Marlon Wells, I always have to give him a shout out because his goal-setting speech that he does just really changed my life, and so it would just be all the growth that I did within that 9 months.
You know, I think everybody could pick like their favorite, like, you know, and the Marlon Wells.
Yes.
Marlon Wells for
is
me.
always one of the more popular ones because I think everyone has that problem. I don't care if you're trying to be busy and all that, and it's just, you know what I mean, just managing how to do everything. And so I think most people are like, oh, yeah.
And what I
should say no sometime.
And what I think is cool about Marlon and cool about Rick, like these are actual people that have applied leadership and goal setting. Like they're pulling it off.
Right.
Like, you know, you see Rick or Marlon with, it's not really a bucket list, but you know, it's his goals, his goal setting and what he wants to do in his life and what he wants for his physical health. And, you know, all of these things, and you see him accomplishing it year after year. You're like, I can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I just hold the time. Folks, we please consider you've got about a week and a half here to get your applications in. So, go ahead and get your application picked up. Swing by the chamber. Go download it off the website, roswell-nm.org. You'll find the link there. If you have trouble navigating it, it's like I said, it's new. They just a couple days ago unveiled this. By the way, that's been something they've been working on for years. It finally got. It's just, you know, COVID world we live in. But anyway, go there, get that application, get it. Start perusing it this weekend, percolating your answers and everything, and then maybe over the weekend get it filled out, and then get it back to the chamber by 5 p.m. Friday of next week, which is the 29th.
Yes, sir.
I think it is off the top of my head. And then wait for a phone call from Rick here. He calls every single person, whether they made it or not, and has a conversation with them. That's always been his, like, I don't care. This is what I'm going to talk to every single one of them. He's bound and determined to make sure he connects with every person that applies.
Yeah.
So you'll get your phone call here, and then we'll get going here. I guess August, really, because that's when they'll still.
So we've already started planning the welcome reception.
Okay.
And so it's
some
in the
fun
works.
things on tap.
We got it going.
Good deal. So.
And we're hoping to make this the best year ever. And I know everybody is pretty competitive about what year they graduated.
Oh, yeah, there is a little bit of rivalry between classes.
Yes.
Actually,
Right.
Todd and I are of the same class, so I'm on Team Todd on this one. Sorry.
Well, did my husband take it in your
Yes.
year? Okay,
Yeah, your
so
husband
he
was
would
in our
agree.
class, too.
And
Yeah.
he's probably listening, so he's probably
Yeah,
thinking,
all
no,
three of us
it
were in the
was-
same
What
class.
year is that? 20?
I think it's 2019. Yeah,
Yes.
2019. I always mess it up with 19 or 20, but
Yes.
20 because 2020 was all the COVID. So
Yes, it was
19.
right before
Yeah,
that. Mhm.
yeah, it was before all that. So yeah, please apply. Trust me, it's a lot of fun. That's the other part. We talk about all this stuff you learn, but it's a lot of fun. You have a good time. When you do go to Santa Fe and things, it's a little like going to day camp with your kid. It's kind of fun like that.
Yeah.
Adults acting not like kids, but that spirit of we're on a field trip.
It's exciting.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah, that whole deal. So please, apply and
Yeah.
be. I guarantee a year after once you're a graduate, you're going to realize, man, that was I've unlocked and learned so much over this that you don't realize, and that's just a lot of it's ancillary. You can't really, like, we talk about this, and this, but it's different for each person.
Mm-hmm.
Each person, it provides opportunities in their own little spectrum of the world.
Yeah.
So, but please apply.
And it's something that I wish. I mean, I think you hear about it, you take it whenever it's just appropriate for you. Things happen when it's at the right time. But it's one of those things that I wish that I could have taken like in my 20s.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
Hindsight situation,
yes.
like, man, this would have been useful 20 years ago
Yes,
or 10 years
absolutely.
ago. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. So, is there any information that we didn't share that we wanted to make sure we
that
get?
we're not missing anything.
If you have any questions, please reach out. Leadership Roswell Alumni Association has a Facebook page. Shoot a message or a comment out there.
Mm-hmm.
Call the Chamber of Commerce if you have any questions. They'll be happy to answer anything. And if they can't, they'll get a hold of, Margaret, probably not Rick. 'Cause
Yeah. Well, you can get a hold of Rick on Facebook.
Yeah.
Of
course, he'll be
me,
muffled with his stormtrooper helmet. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, don't call him this week.
He's on vacation.
His Lord of the Rings robe.
Right.
But,
I hope somebody's getting some good pictures of him.
if he shows up in cosplay, there better be a picture. If I see Rick Kraft dressed like one of the Lord of the Rings wizards, I want to see it.
Yeah. Me too.
Very good. Well, thank you guys. We'll let you get to
Thank
work
you
here.
so much, Mike.
And,
we appreciate you.
And I guess I'll probably see you guys at lunch today, or
I don't know if I'm going to make that.
All right, I think I'll be there. My plan is, unless work here does something different to me. But very good. Well, thank you guys. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
next time.
Bye.
Bye.
It is